Hey, this is Tom with Homeinc. I'm here with Serge, newer
Hi
member of our
guys.
team. Serge, wanted to ask you if you had any recent experience where you were really able to help a seller out with a transaction.
It happens pretty much every time we're on the call. We don't end up always making a deal, but the seller on the other line, you know, gets a feedback whether on how to go about selling their property or, best case scenario, we end up, you know, making an offer that makes sense for them.
That makes me feel good because I have experiences like that myself where not every call is going to end up with a transaction on the end of it. Sometimes it's an educational call. Sometimes the seller doesn't even know where to begin. They got realtors calling their phone asking for a listing opportunity. It really all comes down to the individual. What their needs are. Can we meet their expectations with pricing, with time frames, and we do our very best to really make an effort to accommodate those sort of things for our sellers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think for us here with Homeinc, it's not always about the transaction. It's sometimes it's about listening to the seller and seeing how we can craft a solution that really works for them, and put together an offer that obviously is going to bring them to a close. And that's really the best part about it. So that we're very people driven in every transaction.
It reminds me of a situation. I was on the phone with a lady probably a week or so back, and I'm seeing this more and more often. People getting priced out of their homes,
Yeah.
raising taxes, and a bunch of other scenarios to where people who are on a fixed income, they call us because they don't want to lose the house, and we do our best to put a solid offer on the table for them and help them transition to that next chapter in their life.
Nice.
So it feels good. It feels good to work at a place where that's the main focus and what we try to
I hear you, man. I mean, I sit right next to you, as you
do.
know, and we every day look for ways to offer solution to to sellers and homeowners that sometimes just don't know which way to go. They've never had the situation where they need to sell their property and own it for 25, 30, 50 years, and it's just time to move on. And we provide professional advice and ultimately address their needs to either get a cash for their home and close in a very short period of time. So that's usually sometimes the situation is you know it's dire, but we're glad to be able to answer their question and help
Absolutely,
at
man.
a moment's notice.
Absolutely.
So I have a question for you, Tom. You obviously been doing this for a lot longer than I have. In your tenure working with Home Inc., what's the culture like within the organization and dealing with fellow workers and stuff?
Well, I mean, the culture here has been carefully crafted. I mean, it's a very, very professional atmosphere. On top of the fact that I could name everybody's children that work in the office, so it's a nice dynamic of
Nice.
when you come into the office, you're plugged in, you're ready to rock and roll. But there's also that camaraderie,
Yeah.
and a lot of input from other agents into my transactions, and hey, you should try this way, or
Yeah.
see if they'll accept this alternative way of going about things. So it's very dynamic, um, and I couldn't be happier
Yeah.
as far as where I come to work every day.
Yeah. I'm a lot newer with the organization, so every day has been a learning curve, but getting to know everybody within the company has been very insightful. It's different compared to your traditional corporate jobs.
Absolutely.
there's just a lot of there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of interaction, but I noticed that there's that human factor, where the companies seem to be very culture driven, very focused on the employee, and it does not feel like coming to work. It feels like coming here to hanging out with Tom, you know, every day, and it makes a difference, because you don't get a whole lot of the stress and the pressure of having to, you know, to just come in for a job. I gotta say, it feels a lot more like just a lifestyle, man.
I could agree with that, man. And the one thing that Homeinc takes the time to do is keeps, the agents up to par with where the market's at. There's always learning opportunities. Angela gives us a free book, every month to read and really, expand our knowledge, not just within real estate, but within what type of person we want to be, what type of life we want to live, how everything's supposed to look.
Yeah.
So, it's really made an impact on my life, the amount of discipline I choose to use on a daily basis. And it's hard to not be dedicated when everyone around you is.
Yeah.
So it's a special place.